Hey there, Alicia Rep here, the Energy Queen, founder of the Rebel Rising movement. I'm so happy you have stumbled across this video. Today, I want to talk about a little bit of the process, the transformation of being an entrepreneur and how you build your business model. This is something I'm actually obsessed with and what I help a lot of my clients do. So, what I want to talk about is that we can get tied into building a business around a process, right? And a process, say for example, one of mine the last few years was around premium pricing. So helping people elevate their pricing, charge higher ticket prices, and make these sales with ease. Now, that is a process. It is a very good process, and a lot of people need this process, right? But for example, if we actually look at what happens behind the scenes, there's so much more that goes into stepping into premium pricing, right? And this is why I've actually stepped into more of a movement-based thing where we are building a lifestyle and like a business experience more so than just one process, right? So at Rebel Rising, premium pricing is one of the processes within the greater transformation that we are creating and developing here, right? So when I was talking about premium pricing a lot, after a few years, I was like, well, there is actually a lot more that goes into building a business. And premium pricing is awesome, and I am obsessed with it. But there's also different processes that different business owners need depending on where you're at and what types of resources and sort of different pieces that you've built out, right? So for one person, maybe premium pricing is the process that you need. For another person, maybe you've already developed like a bigger audience and you have this larger following that's quite engaged. You could probably implement a mid-ticket or a low-ticket experience and do very well with that, right? And I know how to do these types of processes as well. So this is why you'll have noticed that I don't talk about just premium pricing as much anymore. It's more this rebel rising movement where you're a rebel and you're on the rise and you're building this empire, this business, this brand. And inside of that, you have your own processes, but you probably also have a movement as well, right? So when you are building a movement, it opens you up to one, the many things that you could talk about inside of your brand, and two, it allows more people to see themselves inside of your brand, right? And the core piece of brand building that makes your life so much easier is actually building a community, right? And so when you have a community of people who are aligned with your brand and your movement, it becomes so much easier to continue to develop your business, add new offerings, and have people grow with you over time. Now, the interesting thing, again, kind of like another piece of this that I find I'm so obsessed with is if you're building a business and say you've learned all of the internet marketing things, right? Like build a membership or build a mastermind or all these things that you see everyone else doing, build a course, right? For me as the rebel and how I lead my clients as well, I'm like, you don't need to do any of that if you don't want to, right? There is like a uniquely custom business model and pathway that aligns perfectly with your energy. And I use human design to help dictate this a little bit, but also your lifestyle goals, your business goals. We tune into how you like to serve best and how that looks, right? So for example, I just got off a call with an incredible woman, Brittany Barcelos. She's so epic. She does creative direction, and she's also pregnant and is moving into this new era of her life, right? And as we were talking and as she was sharing, I could tell she like wasn't that excited about building out the mid-ticket part of her business, and she was so excited about like talking about these premium experiences that she could create around creative direction. And I was like, well, you don't need to build out anything if you don't want. You could actually just create these premium experiences, take on a few clients per year, and that can be the majority of your business model and your business and your income, right? And to see the relief on her face was so amazing. I love this moment that I have had with many, many, many people where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't need to do all these other things. I don't feel called to do all these other things. I don't want to do all these other things, right? And this is why I became obsessed with premium energy and created this whole movement. The beginnings of my movement were really like premium energy. And that evolved to Rebel Rising because this Rebel Rising made my entire life journey make sense as my brand, right? And inside of that is premium energy because we're being rebels at the top end, self-actualizing at the highest level, moving the human experience forward through innovation and through really epic businesses and offerings that create ripples and waves on the planet, right? And so your highest expression often has a premium price tag on top of that, right? Because you've taken all this time to master what you are a master at and cultivate these skill sets that most other people don't have, and they don't do it like you do it. And therefore, that's why you're able to put this premium on it, right? And the cool thing that I'm deconditioning for myself and what I know to be true by helping all of my clients do this in a one-to-one capacity and even in my mastermind now is premium pricing and a premium service or offering doesn't mean more. It doesn't necessarily mean more work, more bells and whistles, more pieces, moving parts inside of this offer. Often it's actually a refinement. It's a refinement of what you might expect to be inside of like a mid or a low ticket thing where it's like all these things and bonuses and this is what you get and you know that type of vibe. It's more of like building a relationship and then consultatively putting together the most perfect package for that person and what their desires are, right? And so to be able to lead yourself and have those types of conversations takes a different energy than mid or low ticket, right? And it gets to be so fun. But people at the premium level, they're not necessarily looking for more. They're looking for speed. They're looking for expertise. They're looking for confidence and assurance that you can get that job done. And it's actually more about specificity, right? Like, not all of these things that they want from you. It's like, no, they're probably more specific on, I need these 3 things and I need you to do it because you're the best and I'm going to pay a premium for it because that's how I perceive value, right? These types of people perceive value in this way where they know investing a higher ticket price tag on something equals results, usually speed, and usually the quality of the execution is so important and they'll feel that, right? So this is my little riff that I wanted to share with you today around, you know, kind of breaking down this conversation around the processes that you have that you will use in your business, but how your brand is more of the movement. And you know, if you only want to play in premium pricing, like that is okay, and this is my area of genius. And yeah, so that's the talk for today. I can't wait to share more of these with you. Alicia Rep, the Energy Queen, founder of Rebel Rising, the movement. You can find me on Instagram, and I'll be on here with more YouTubes coming up.